I sat through all 36 hours of her investigation so far, every clip, every theory, just to see what's really going on. And what I found were 5 tactics that make Candace Owens not just convincing, but dangerously persuasive. And once you see them, you won't be able to unsee them.
Hi guys, this is Sahar TV, and in today's video we will see a YouTuber who just decided to wake up in the morning and expose the crap out of Candace Owens. Let's watch.
Candace Owens might be one of the most persuasive voices online right now. What she's really doing, whether she knows it or not, is one of the most effective persuasion formulas on the internet. Her videos on Charlie Kirk's assassination have averaged millions of views, and Candace is incredibly good at one thing: making people feel certain without ever proving anything. So I sat through all 36 hours of her investigation so far, every clip, every theory, just to see what's really going on. And what I found were 5 tactics that make Candace Owens not just convincing, but dangerously persuasive. And once you see them, you won't be able to unsee them. Now, obviously, a lot of people feel deceived and gaslit by institutions, and in many cases, rightly so. But that's not the only thing going on here. If you've ever watched one of our episodes, you'll notice it immediately. The odd footage, the timestamps, things that don't line up, the screenshots that don't make sense, and the random people who suddenly seem suspicious. But she doesn't just give you 1 or 2 of these. Every episode, she throws out more than you can count. Nearly 15 in this video alone, sometimes over 20. In fact, I say that this is virtually the entirety of her episodes. She gathers anything that could look suspicious, even if it could be random or unrelated.
On 9/4, Akash Patel as far as November and December. Then we have Frank Turek on October 7th. Well, Megyn Kelly.
And with so many anomalies being introduced every episode, at least a couple of them will strike you as strange. And given the sheer volume of her claims, your ability to think carefully about any of them gets drawn out by the sheer number of them. By the time you start to think critically about one date, or rumor, or insinuation, she's already moved on to the next. So eventually what happens is you stop paying attention to the quality of the evidence, and you're overwhelmed by the quantity, leaving you to conclude that there's just simply too many strange things occurring for there not to be something more going on. This can be thought of as an anomaly overload. It's what happens when a flood of speculation starts to feel like evidence, and when the gaps in our knowledge become proof that something sinister is happening.
Exactly what they're doing with 9/11. Exactly.
What's going on here? What are Egyptian military subcontractors doing in the middle of Provo, Utah on the day that Charlie Kirk was assassinated?
And even though she hasn't proven anything yet, within 1 episode, you've already moved on from curious to convinced. And all she had to do was to keep asking questions.
The crime that you were not allowed to commit. Just asking questions.
Okay, but her asking questions is exactly what's in question. If you listen closely to her podcast, often she is just asking questions, but in a way where people hear much more than just a question. Sometimes she makes the implications clear, as she did when implying that Donald Trump was involved in Charlie Kirk's assassination.
I think it is a circumstance where we just know. We just know that he was truly betrayed in one of the most egregious ways that I think I've ever seen. It has made me lose faith in politics. It has made me fully lose faith in Trump. And my heart aches for the fact that he gave so much of his life to Trump and to politics. And they just were like, nope, that is it. It serves us or it doesn't serve us, and we want to move on. And so here's a holiday. Bro, what is with them giving people a holiday after they kill them? As soon as they give you a boulevard and a holiday, they definitely killed you. Okay? There's no question. They killed you.
But most of the time, she stays just short of an accusation. Her questions are often laced with heavy inflammatory suspicion, framed as innocent curiosity, while implying someone's guilt or their hidden motives.
So what was the blue plane doing sitting on the tarmac?
That's what makes her question so powerful, because it gives her plausible deniability. If her theory collapses, she was just asking questions. But if it turns out to be true, then of course she was right all along. And that has a powerful effect on her audience. It's the way that she frames the questions that makes her audience hear them as evidence for a conspiracy. So she doesn't need to directly accuse anyone, because she sets it up so that way her audience fills in the blanks for her. But questions aren't evidence of anything sinister happening. When it comes to actual evidence, it's how she controls the evidence that's one of the most important tactics that she uses. Take a look at this tweet from Blair White saying that almost no one has proved Tucker or her wrong. And the reason people can say this with so much confidence is because of the way that Candace handles evidence.
I have it now on a very well-placed authoritative source.
To start, when it comes to a lot of her claims, we simply aren't able to verify if they're true or not. She often cites unnamed sources, and we have no way of knowing who they are, how reliable they are, or what they actually said. We just have to take her word for it. So when people say to prove her wrong, well, most of the time you can't because she hasn't provided any evidence that she's right. Now, I'm not saying she's doing this, but in theory, she could just be making it all up. This is why the burden of proof always falls on the person that's making the claim rather than the person questioning it. Okay, but here's where things get even more challenging. Even when we do have direct evidence showing that she's wrong, it still doesn't count. I mean, take a look at what she said about Netanyahu's letter from Charlie Kirk.
He is severely misrepresenting. Those sentences are real, but I am calling upon Bibi Netanyahu, the dear friend to Charlie Kirk, to publish the letter's entire contents. Like, don't start with just 2 sentences. Publish the entire thing.
We all know what happened when they published the entire thing. Her entire argument collapsed, but then she never made the argument, right? Because she was just asking questions. That's Candace's tactic. That's been her tactic all along. Oh my God, when they exposed that letter, I was like, oh my God, Candace just, she was exposed, but she went on to the next lie, completely ignoring this one.
You're holding it. I'm saying you're severely misrepresenting the contents.
Now, this is a common power move. She forces Netanyahu to choose between 2 options. He can either release the personal letter to the public or keep it private and look guilty. And when the letter was released and it confirmed exactly what Netanyahu said, it didn't seem to change her mind. In fact, this is the same tactic that we see over and over. She demands evidence, and if you don't give it, then you're hiding something. But even if you do give it, it doesn't disprove her claim. Instead, she treats the evidence as suspicious or even as more proof of a cover-up. So either way, she wins, and that makes it almost impossible for our audience to recognize when she's been proven wrong. In addition, remember when she said this about Bill Ackman blackmailing Charlie?
You're not going to gaslight us and tell us to shut up or call us anti-Semitic for pointing out the fact that Charlie was having a change of heart about the tactics that Israel was using in America, and that he felt when he had left that meeting that he had effectively been blackmailed.
But just 3 days later, when Bill Ackman denied it, she said,
okay, buddy, I never said you blackmailed Charlie. I asked you if this moment happened.
So notice how she shifted the claim and then frames him as the liar. And that's what we really see going on here, because the way that she gets you hooked is not in the evidence she presents, but in how she frames the evidence.
Disgusting.
You see, at core, humans are emotional beings and we respond strongest to emotional arguments. And on social media, nothing spreads faster than moral outrage. It gives us a sense of righteous anger, the feeling that we're on the side of good and standing against evil. And this is something that Candace has nearly mastered, because in every episode she leans into moral outrage, not just about what happened, but about why more people aren't as angry as she is. And she regularly questions anyone that isn't digging into the case the way that she is.
We all feel that something is spiritually wrong, and yet these people are trying to tell you that there's nothing to see here.
Okay, but if you pay close attention, you notice that she isn't just assuming the very thing that she hasn't proven, that Tyler Robinson wasn't the shooter. She's also treating disagreement with her as a moral test. In her framing, if you disagree with her, you're not just wrong, you're morally wrong. Or worse, morally compromised. People are afraid to disagree with her, not only because they're worried about being attacked by her and her fans, but they'll also be painted as immoral, naive, or corrupt.
This YouTuber just decided to wake up in the morning and expose the crap out of Candace Owens in the most beautiful and understandable way I have ever seen anyone do on YouTube. Beautiful video.
So whether she intends it or not, she creates a powerful good versus evil dynamic. And that's why any disagreement that me or others have with her instantly turns into accusations that we're somehow being paid $7,000 by Israel. In their minds, the only reason that you disagree with them is because you're part of the conspiracy. You notice that she doesn't just argue a case, she creates a cause, and the result is what we see today. A fierce and growing community which keeps her audience loyal even when she has nothing more to go on than a gut feeling.
I don't know, but I know.
And
how can anybody watch Candace saying this sentence the way she just said it and say, yep, she's right, she's correct about this? I don't know, but I know. that I don't know. What you know, I don't know. You know, I know. But I know.
This is when we get into another powerful tactic: spiritual attacks. Lately, she's moved a lot of her attention over to the Christians who don't agree with her. And one thing that she really doesn't like is when Christians use scripture to point out what's wrong with what she's doing, as she made clear in her response to Frank Turek.
Then we have Frank Turek, who engaged.
Guys, I do not want to take views away from this incredible YouTuber, so I am going to attach the full video down below so you can watch it. Incredible video. Watch the full thing. There's about 6 minutes left. But yes, he's right. Candace always asks questions. It's the way she presents her evidence. She presents it in a way that can make her get away with it like this. And then she doesn't seem like an uncredible source. She did it with the Benjamin Netanyahu letter from Charlie Kirk. She did it with Bill Ackman, and she keeps doing it again and again and again. Now, another problem that we have is that her audience eats up her bullshit like it's cereal. And even if somebody proves her wrong, they say, haha, you're paid by the Zionist entity. Where's your $7,000? Now, if anybody in Israel is paying $7,000 a post, sign me up. I'm down. But you want to see how easily I dismantle Candace Owens' claims against Israel assassinating Charlie Kirk? If Charlie Kirk was killed for changing his views about Israel, then why is Candace still alive? She used to be a heavy Israel supporter, and now she's a heavy Israel hater, anti-Israel person. Why is she alive? Why is she not getting assassinated? What about Tucker Carlson? Why is he still alive? Because Israel's got nothing to do with this. That's it. Case closed. Thank you so much for watching. And again, I'll include the full video down below so you can watch it. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye. Candace, exposed. Thank you. Bye-bye. If you'd like to watch more of my stuff, please check out my channel down below. If you like what you see, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and hit that notification button so you can be notified every time I upload new content. If you'd like to support me and the channel financially, you can do that using Buy Me Coffee or Patreon down in the links below. Also, we now have a Discord that you can join down in the link below. And now you can become a YouTube member and enjoy specific YouTube perks. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.